The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning, America. Good morning to all you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live this morning, this Monday morning from the Bunker Eye Studio. Here it is, Monday, September number 25 in the year of our Lord 2017. The call-in Hot Rod line is 603-835-3226, should you wish to avail yourself of that later on, or anytime over the next 3 hours, actually. Got a lot to cover in the paper pile. Interesting weekend. I'm going to be frank. I did not watch a single minute of the NFL this weekend. Didn't watch a single minute of it. And all the stuff that I saw and read over the weekend and the clips and everything, I should say, well, I didn't watch a single minute of it live as it aired on TV. I didn't watch, obviously I saw clips and highlights and stuff. But I got to tell you, even though I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I have been for decades. I love me some Pittsburgh Steelers. I know not everybody. Well, around here everybody loves the Patriots, the Pats. And I always give the Pats their due because let's face it, Tom Brady is probably the greatest QB to ever play the game. Yeah, he probably surpasses Johnny Unitas, who's often cited as being the greatest quarterback that ever played. I know you young people don't know who Johnny Unitas is, but you should go look him up. I often stand in awe about with Tom Brady. He's not a pretty quarterback. He doesn't have a lot of finesse. I mean, what is he? He's like 6'3", 6'4". He's big. Well, the NFL's got a bunch of big QBs now. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben, he's a big boy. He's like 6'4", 6'5", and about 250. Brady's about the same. He's about 6'4" and about 220, 230. These are big guys now. They're not little guys. The Doug Flutie, there aren't as many Doug Fluties in the NFL. Anybody remember Bob Greasy from way back in the day? He was another little guy. He even wore glasses. But anybody remember? He was a Miami Dolphins QB, if I'm not mistaken. Bob Greasy. Here's a guy who was a small. Was he like 5'9", 5'10"? Small QB. He was a little quick. He wasn't pretty. He was a decent QB for Miami, and he even wore glasses. That was Bob Greasy. Dan Marino also, took over after Greasy retired. Again, not another big guy. Then we had Drew Bledsoe, who was a tall, big QB for New England. Yet he was like 6'4", 6'5". I mean, we started to get in the 90s. Late 90s. We started to get the bigger QBs. They were bringing on bigger ones. They weren't necessarily little guys. I mean, if you were a QB, if you were fast, hot shot arm, and if you could see over your front line, you had a chance of being a good QB. But today it's like these guys. Well, the defensive line, they're monsters. You can't be, like 5'10", 190 pounds anymore. You're going to get crushed by those guys. So the QBs have had to grow up a little bit, as it were. The quarterbacks have had to grow up a little. And you can still have, if you're going to be short and well, not necessarily small, but short, then you can be a running back or a fullback. I mean, but you gotta build you gotta be like a little tiny juggernaut. The small the small backs, the short backs, those guys still weigh about 230, 250 pounds, even though they may only be like 5'9" or something, or 5'8". And if you look at them with their pads off, I mean, they've got like 50-inch thick necks, and they're built to take the pounding that they're going to receive from trying to go up, in the hole. Football's a brutal game. I get it, and right now football is under it. I hate to be the one to the bearer of bad news. American football, as we currently know it, its time is limited. And there are a number of factors. One, because you have all these players now that are protesting it, and American people are just sick of it. And you have people like Roger Goodell that won't do anything about it. It's called self-implode. I don't know if I was an owner, man, I'd be telling these guys, no, you're not messing with my business this way. This is what they don't. Well, we'll get into this, but this is what these players don't understand. You are an employee. Sure, you might think that you're a celebrity, but you're still an employee. Every single one of those people down there on the playing field, from the players to the coaches to the healthcare professionals, I don't care who they are. They're an employee of their respective teams. They're not down there on that field as some independent contractor. None of them are. Not even Tom Brady. They're all employees of their respective teams. And those teams are actually corporations. Now, sure, you may have, one family that owns the corporation, but they're still a corporation. They're big business. They're a franchise business of the NFL, much like McDonald's. The difference is that the NFL itself doesn't own any teams. Not that I know of. Every team is individually owned. The NFL doesn't own any teams. Now, McDonald's Corporation actually owns some McDonald's restaurants, but the vast majority of the restaurants are what? Franchised, which means McDonald's doesn't own them. The NFL doesn't own the teams, but they're franchises. You still got to follow the franchisor's rules. Even though you may be a franchisee, you own the restaurant, you own the building, you own the property, it's your corporation, what have you. You still have to follow the franchise rules of McDonald's. Otherwise, you can't be a McDonald's for very long. This is the same thing with the NFL. These are nothing more than franchises of the NFL. And if the NFL itself, the franchisor, wanted to set down some rules when it comes to this protesting crap, they could do so. Now, obviously, I know people are saying Roger Goodell should fire people. Roger Goodell can't fire anybody on a team. Just like a McDonald's, the franchisor can't walk into a privately owned franchisee's restaurant and say, "Well, fire that guy. This guy's fired." They can't. They don't employ them. They can't do it. They can strongly suggest, or if there is something massively wrong that affects the entire corporation or their how people view McDonald's, they can strongly suggest that if they don't fire them, that the owner could lose their franchise. They have a right to protect their brand. The NFL has a brand. And right now that brand is extremely tainted. And Roger Goodell doesn't seem to care. He doesn't seem to care that the brand is now tainted. And when you've got all of these millionaire and multimillionaire players who are going to act like spoiled little brats and take a knee because, oh my goodness, Donald, the president chastised us. Well, we're going to show him. We're just going to protest and disrespect the national anthem and the American people and our fans. Well, frankly, I've had enough. As much as I like the Pittsburgh Steelers, until the NFL decides that they're going to fix this nonsense, I'm not watching the NFL. This will be the last time I talk about the NFL here on this program. I'm done with the NFL. I'm done with professional football. What will I do for my football fix? Well, I guess I'll just have to watch college football. I don't know anything about college football, to tell you the truth. I don't follow it. But I can learn. Problem with college football is there's too many colleges with football teams. There's way too many teams. But I'll do it. If I need to watch football, that's what I'll watch football on a Saturday. Or, better yet, I'll DVR it, a couple of college football games on Saturday, and then watch them on Sunday, so I get my Sunday football fix if I need to do so. Yeah, in this day and age, you don't need to. You're not held prisoner by the TV schedule anymore. You can record it, DVR it. I know today's DVR. I mean, some people still have VCRs. I don't have a VCR anymore. It's been a long time since I've actually owned one. Well, my PlayStation is my DVD player. I got an old one. I got a PlayStation 2. I have not upgraded. But I don't watch a lot of DVDs anymore either. Well, because, I got Netflix and Hulu. You can just watch everything on demand. But that was a very fast transition through the early 2000s, but that's neither here nor there. From video to DVD to on demand. But I'll just DVR it. Football, watch them on Sunday. But I've had enough of this. I don't care who it is. It's not just football players. I've had enough of Americans protesting their own country. And not protesting it in a respectful way. Yeah, look, I understand, you have a right to protest. I understand that you have a right to express your disagreements, your grievances with your government, both federal and local and state. Local, state, and federal. I get that part. I mean, it's part of the Constitution. It's part of the American experiment. It's part of who we are as Americans. But you don't disrespect it. I can honestly have a disagreement with my government and never disrespect my country by taking a knee during a national anthem. Now, regardless of what the third stanza of the national anthem actually said, the Star Spangled Banner, that's irrelevant. There's a lot more to it than that. A hell of a lot more to it. And I'm just, there's no way in hell that I would take a knee to disrespect, especially my fans who are very, very American. If it wasn't for those fans, I wouldn't be making my $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 million a year contract. Well, I can tell you, a lot of them probably won't be making that too much longer if they keep losing viewers and fans.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Zero 3-835-3226. Welcome back. As far as the NFL is concerned, I am through with the NFL, and this is how. Look, this is the reason why. I don't mind if somebody has an issue, or look, you have, even if you are an employee, you have a right to express your opinions. If you do, but not on the field. And if you work for, say, McDonald's, you do not have the right to disparage McDonald's and bring McDonald's into a bad light if you expect to still stay employed by them. If you want to leave their employee and then, quote unquote, expose the truth, that's your right. You can go ahead and do that. Much like Leah Remini with the Scientology thing. But don't expect to do this kind of thing while you're still employed with McDonald's and expect to keep your job at McDonald's. That's asinine. You don't have a right to. Besides, why would you disparage the very company that's like that biting the hand that feeds you? Literally, it is. when you take a knee in the NFL, and you're even protesting the NFL, why would you protest the very company and country that pays your salary, that pays your overblown salary? Why would you do that? Well, you do that because you're a liberal, brainwashed idiot, for one. But even if you're a brainwashed idiot, you should be able to think for yourself and say, well, if I do this, I'm going to piss off my fans, and the fans are the ones that pay for all the overpriced tickets. The fans are the ones that buy the $6 beer and $10 hamburger so that I can make millions of dollars a year. The fans are the ones that go out and buy all the jerseys and all the other NFL paraphernalia. The fans are the ones that allow me to get endorsements from other companies to make additional millions of dollars so I can influence their buying habits. Say, hey, buy these shoes, or buy this underwear, or buy this mattress, or what have you. But you know what? I am going to disparage every single one of them, from my employer, the individual team, to the franchisor, the NFL, to the fans themselves out there in America. I'm going to just rapscallion dump on all of them by disrespecting every single one of them, by taking a knee and accusing every single one of them of being a freaking racist. Oh yeah, you like the national anthem? You're a racist, man. You know what that third stanza says? Nobody knows what it says. Look, the President of the United States says that he's going to chastise the NFL. Well, I'm going to take a knee in order to chastise the president. And in so doing, I'm going to screw it to every single fan of mine. But you know what? This fan has had enough. I've had enough of all this bullshit. It does not matter if it's the NFL or anything else. I don't got to take it anymore. I'm done with it. You know where you're not going to see this crap, believe it or not, is NASCAR. You know, I'm not a NASCAR fan, but I just might become one. I'm serious. I mean, I don't find it exciting to watch cars run around in an oval as fast as they possibly can for up to 500 freaking laps. I mean, it takes 2-3 hours to do that. Well, I mean, it's the same thing with playing a football game, I guess. But I don't find that exciting. But you know what? I might start getting into it simply because NASCAR is out there saying that they're not going to put up with this kind of crap. NASCAR is saying that, you're going to, let's see, NASCAR owners. See, again, a lot of the drivers of NASCAR, they don't own the cars that they're driving. They don't own it. They're an employee of the team. There's usually teams. There could be 2 or 3 drivers from the same team in the same race. And they're obviously not taking this. NASCAR owners side with Trump, take firm stance against anthem protests. Yeah, now, I've often said this, and I've been backed up by this numerous times. But NASCAR is probably, NASCAR fans are probably some of the most loyal, patriotic people, sports fans in the country. Well, you can argue whether or not NASCAR is a sport or not. That's irrelevant. When it comes to sports, NASCAR fans are some of the most patriotic people there are. And NASCAR and all the NASCAR owners, again, NASCAR is like a franchise. And all these different teams are members of that franchise. They all understand what side, what side their toast is buttered on, so to speak. They're not going to put up with it. And yet, NASCAR is a fast-growing sport, believe it or not. And they're very patriotic. I think we just had a flyby here in New Hampshire yesterday. We'll get into that when we get back.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed,
680 to 90, 10-4.
could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
Yeah, boy! 603-835-3226. Yes, indeed. That is one of my favorite bumpers, Awesome God, and that's no joke there. Yeah, we've gotten to the point in this country and in this world where it is quite okay and oftentimes expected to go against our traditions. And not because the traditions are necessarily bad. So because many of the traditions are accurate and they're dead on. But simply because you have people running around who believe that now we're in an enlightened age and do whatever feels good. This whole 60s mantra has actually morphed into what we've got today. And it is not just in the NFL, folks. I mean, it's got it in the paper pile. We won't get into it now. I got it in the paper pile. There are people within the Catholic Church, some bishops and cardinals, who are accusing the current pope of spreading heresy. Now, I got to tell you, I'm not Catholic, but I'm looking from the outside looking in and looking at what this pope is saying and doing a lot and what he's embracing. And I'm thinking, this is what these guys, these bishops and cardinals are concerned about. But it's biblical. All of this stuff that is happening today is biblical, and I'm not stretching any of this by any. I don't need to stretch any of this to make it fit what the Bible says about what's going to be happening during the last days. And the last days could last for a century or more. Who knows? But I don't have to stretch it. It talks about good being or evil being accepted as good. It talks about there being a rise of a universal church. Well, hell, that's what it's called, the Holy Roman Universal Church. That's what Catholic means. And you got this Pope who's embracing Islam, for crying out loud. Oh, that seems to me like he's trying to create a holy universal church that everybody can get in on. So it's not just the NFL, but we're seeing this kind of crap and morphing all over the place. Bad becoming good. It is a bad idea to take a knee and protest the country that you live in. It is a bad idea to take a knee and protest the very people who support your livelihood. But yet we turn around and we see all these people say, "Well, that's good." No, it's not good. It's still a bad idea. Evil is still evil. I don't care what you call it. Now, is taking a knee necessarily evil? Well, I guess it depends on the individual's, reason for doing it. But I'm just not going to deal with this anymore. I'm done with this garbage. And don't tell me, well, it's because of the president, man. It's not because of the president. You'd be doing this anyway. You think this just started this year? No. When did Colin Kaepernick take a knee? It was about when we still had the wonderful potentate Barack Hussein Obama as president. So it isn't because of Trump. You can get that bullshit out of your mind right now. It's not because of Trump. Plain and simple. Look, I'm not here to bash any. Well, if you're Islam, yeah, I'm going to bash Islam. But I'm not here to bash any Christian related religion. But I'm just saying, you cannot expect to go against the traditions, whether it be a religion, whether it be a sport, or your country, and expect something good to come out of it. You're not going to have anything good out of the country. You're going to destroy it. Well, hey, maybe that's what some people actually want in the first place. Just to destroy all the good institutions and good traditions and replace them with evil and bad. Let's go to the phones here. 7-31, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got?
Hey, well, you know what? My point exactly. I know you follow me on Twitter and so forth, but so you probably, I think you know who I really am. But I will tell you that I have a family member that is retired in the NFL, and he was a quarterback, so that it probably makes sense to you now. But we have turned it all off. We're not going to watch it. You know, when you think about, and this went back last year when Kaepernick decided, you know, that he sided with some organizations and against the cops. Do you recall him wearing the socks with the pigs on them? During the game?
Kaepernick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. He was very proud of that. And then the NFL, I don't know that people know this. I only know this from being around the business, but they have nonprofit status. Did you realize that? That the stadiums. The major. We've done some very interesting things with some of the sports leagues. Baseball and football have gotten special status for so long in this country. You know. Yeah, we paid
baseball has a very protected legal. Yeah, baseball has a very protected
right?
legal status too. So there, you know how you can have some of the legal status of collusion in business and price gouging and stuff like that. Baseball is exempt from a lot of those the anti-mob types of laws. Baseball specifically is exempted from a lot of those. So we've treated these sports organizations, especially the National Football League, especially football and baseball, with kid gloves as far as the laws and regulations are concerned. It applies to everybody else, but it doesn't apply to them.
Well, like Tim Tebow, do you remember when that went on? Because he raised his hand to God, to pray. And
yes.
He was chastised for that.
Doing the Tebow on the field, yes.
That's right.
He got chat. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to take a knee and pray in the end zone every time he scored, but you could take a knee at the beginning of the game and to protest the very
our
country
flag, our police, our military, our God, our anthem, or the country. Those are the things I want to know what they're kneeling to, because these are the things. You can say President Trump, but this, just like you said, this division started with Ferguson. I think a lot of this is intended consequences. And, but the only thing they can be kneeling to is our flag, our police, our military, our God, the anthem, or America. And if it's any of those reasons, then you don't deserve $1.1 billion of taxpayers' money that we subsidize those stadiums for. And I will become a NASCAR fan. I don't understand it, but I will support them, or the National Hockey League. Did you see where the Ravens and the Jaguars kneeled during the national anthem in England?
And there is I didn't see it, but there is a story here I got here where the Jaguar owner was actually locked arm in arm with the London mayor. Who's an Islamist? I mean,
Who? What the hell? What the hell? Do they not understand?
Well, he wasn't elected, but he wasn't. Well, actually, I got it's here in the paper pile. There's a whole. Angela Merkel was reelected in Germany, but by a slim margin. Europe has a problem, and it
yes,
isn't.
They do, and we're following them.
Well, it's not the rank and file. It's not the rank and file members of people, citizens of Europe. What you have is a bunch of liberal elitists that populate their major city centers, like London, Paris, Brussels, Berlin. That is how these people stay on. That's how these liberals over there keep winning, because they populate the cities, and the cities sometimes outnumber the surrounding countryside, and that's how they keep winning. I mean, that's how Macron won in France, basically, is that they basically just disregarded the French countryside and just only went for the two major cities in France, which was Paris and whatever the other one is.
It's kind of like our election. Now that they say, our electoral college doesn't count.
Yeah,
yes,
it's the same here. Same here. I mean, we do. Obviously, a lot of times our elections can be swayed, and national elections can be won by the two coasts. You got the East Coast and the West Coast. I mean, and Chicago in the middle. That's it. So if you can win the major cities, San Francisco, L.A., New York, Boston, Washington D.C., Chicago, you've got a very good chance of winning the election. It's the same thing here.
That's right. Well, I had an interesting poll I want to tell you before I go. I just saw a poll, 20,000 people polled, 91%. I'm talking, this is of all people. It said 91% said they were not going to watch the games. They were not going to buy licensed goods, and they were going to boycott their sponsors. And so I think the NFL and the players especially, because they're paid. You know what? Their money comes from the people who actually follow them. It doesn't come. I mean, I don't know what they think. I don't know what they're thinking. Who pays their $1 million paychecks? It's us. But that will be, it's something they need to think about, because after Donald Trump's gone, we're still going to have America. We're still going to be here. And so they think that they're hurting him, but what they're really doing is opening up our eyes to what's really going on in this country. And we're about to stop it, And I'm like you, I'm not talking about it anymore, but it's time for, people are waking up to it, That's my take.
I think so, and well, again, I'm not a NASCAR fan, but the stance that they're taking, and I got the story here. I'll go over the whole story with NASCAR. We just had a NASCAR race here yesterday, and
they said fire any driver. They said we'll fire you.
No, basically, a lot of the team owners just basically said, well, hey. If you want to take a knee and disrespect the country and the fans, get on the Greyhound bus and go back home.
Go drive your moped. Go drive your moped around. Well, I think that what you were saying about the Pope. A lot of this is biblical. A lot of it is history. Our history's been taken out of our schools. We don't teach real history anymore. We don't teach what really happened. And history repeats itself. But we're totally, we're oblivious to that because they took it out of our schools because they wanted to dumb us down. You go to every other country, most all of them with the exception of maybe 2 or 3, they know what history's about. And so, but our kids don't. We're not taught. We're taught to the unions to run our schools, which in turn means that our kids don't know what history. If you knew history, this would scare the living daylights out of you and realize what we are going up against, and that this is all their plan, and we're falling for it. And that's my take on the Pope. And I'm not, my husband's Catholic. I'm not saying anything. I go to Haiti with the Catholic group. But there's some issues with this Pope, and everybody needs to do their homework about that. And it's all got to do with global takeover, and you have to do that through division. And look at Ferguson. Donald Trump, I don't even think was in the picture at that point. And it's just gone on. Then you went to Baltimore. Then you went to the West Coast. It's been going on. And now it's whether or not we choose to continue this, allowing our leaders to say one thing and do totally the opposite and not stand behind the people, because obviously they have more to gain by not serving the people than they and have their own agenda. There's my soapbox for the day.
All right. Thank you so much for your call.
I could go on. Thank you. And God bless you. And God bless America.
God bless you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, it's not just, by the way, folks, it's not just the Catholic Church that is run into a lot of doctrine issues, you could say. A lot of religion. I mean, just look around. The Methodists, they're running into it now. I mean, trying to come to terms with having gay ministers, and the Universalist, the Unitarian Universalist Church has been totally co-opted. They don't even read from the Bible anymore at the If you go to Unitarian Universalist service, they don't even read from the Bible anymore. So it's not just the Catholic Church. I don't want people to think I'm bashing the Catholic Church. It's not just the Catholic Church. It is. I mean, you've got some Hasidic and Orthodox Jews that are complaining about heresy being introduced into their stern religions. So it's an invasion. The only place where we don't seem to be getting heresy introduced is Islam. Sure, well, I guess here in America you've got Americanized Islam, where they're like Christians. They don't follow the letter of the book that they supposedly follow, but really you don't get a lot of heresy introduced into Islam. With that, I got to give them props. They don't take any of that kind of heresy stuff over there in Islam. We do. We believe that we're just supposed to be all open and all understanding, and if we don't like it because it makes us feel uncomfortable, then we're supposed to change it. We're not supposed to work on ourselves to change ourselves to meet our religion. We're supposed to change our religion to meet our own selfish needs. That's what everybody thinks. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. It's terrible. So instead of changing, what you think is going on in this country, just sort of force the country to make you feel better. And if the country doesn't make you feel better, then you're going to protest that country by taking a knee and showing your complete and utter disrespect for that. I don't go for that. Sorry.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
As an example of heresy as well in other denominations, I shouldn't say religions, denominations on the Christian side, the Westboro Baptist Church here in New England, Massachusetts, is a prime example of how they misinterpret the Bible. I mean, a lot of people are probably saying, well, that name sounds familiar. Who are they? This is the church, this is the group in Westboro, Massachusetts. This is a group of people. They call themselves Baptists, and of which I grew up Baptist. My grandfather was a Baptist minister. But these are people that used to run around and protest military servicemen funerals, and say this is what happens when the United States backs gay people and allows this whole abomination of gayness and homosexuality run rampant through our country. God is punishing us and killing our soldiers. And they were happy about it. They were happy to do it. That's heresy. And giving the whole Baptist denomination a bad name because everybody thought this is what Baptists believe. No, it's not what Baptists believe in general. We didn't believe that God was punishing America by allowing our soldiers to die. That was ridiculous. And we sure as hell were not running around protesting at a funeral. So it's not just the Catholic Church, but what I was saying by the Catholics, and I don't want people to think I'm just picking on the Catholics, is that there is a story here that says that you have some bishops and cardinals within the Catholic Church saying that the Pope is spreading or teaching heresy. Now, frankly, I mean, you don't have to agree with what the Pope does or says. I'm not Catholic, so it's easy for me to disagree with him. But that's something that Catholics themselves have to address. And Baptists have to address this Westboro Church thing. And Universalists, Unitarian Universalists have to address the universal Unitarian thing, and the Methodists have to address the Methodist issues. We can all stand outside and look inside and say, look at all those problems that they got in there. But there's not much because we're not members of that. If we want to, hey. If you want to belong to the universal Unitarian whatever church and that believes in that, what they preach, then that's fine. But don't claim you're something you're not. Plain and simple. I'm And as far as the NFL is concerned, don't claim you're an all-American sport when all you're doing is allowing people to bash America, to disrespect America, to disrespect our institutions, to disrespect who we are as a nation. You're not an all-American sport if you do that. So don't lie about it. Tell us who you really are. We'll accept you or reject you based on who you say you really are. Otherwise, we're just going to ignore you altogether.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's going to explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small. You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Here it is, hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from the Bunkerized Studio. Welcome to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Here it is, Monday, September number 25, in the year of our Lord 2017. The call-in Hot Rod line number is 603-835-3226. You can utilize that at any time over the next 2 hours here while we're still live. Don't forget to check out the ever-expanding RodEccles.net. It is a lot of the stuff has been populated over there. I guess whatever it was that he's got to go in and fix it line by line, whatever it was. I don't know. So as long as it's getting done and it reaches our new deadline, and we're up and active, fully loaded. Good to know. RodEccles.net. And, well, no, that's about it as far as that's concerned. Yeah, well, it's going to be some good stuff. Videos are coming over there, by the way. Going to do some vlogging on a weekly basis. Going to have some other videos that are going to be available over there shortly. Definitely want to keep checking that out on a daily basis. Not going to want to miss it. It's going to be an exciting site. Totally exciting. It's going to be real exciting. It's going to be so exciting over there. Yes. Speaking of exciting, NASCAR. If you're not a NASCAR fan, maybe you will become one after this. NASCAR owners side with Trump, take firm stance against anthem protest. You're not... because at many NASCAR events, you got the flyovers, military Air Force jet flyover. How are you going to protest that? I'm just, I guess did anybody protest it the Super Bowl at the Super Bowl last year? I don't know. I'm done with the NFL. I'm not even watching I'm not watching the Super Bowl. That's too bad because I like watching. Well, the past few years I've really watched the Super Bowl not to watch the game but to watch the commercials. And the past couple of years the commercials have been pretty lame. Not to mention you can just go to YouTube now and pick up the commercials because they're all loaded up there. At least by the day after the Super Bowl is over, so you can watch them over there. I don't need to watch a football game anymore to watch YouTube commercials. This is. We're in a totally different world today. I mean, think about that. Now, I don't want to get off on a tangent on this, but we're in a totally different world from where we were when we first, 17 years ago, the year 2000. 16 years ago, 2001. We didn't have all this instantaneous stuff that we've got today. We didn't have all this opportunity and choice in entertainment, which is something that the NFL needs to understand that they're no longer it. I mean, it used to be, they used to have a pretty good control on the games that you watched, especially in a local market issue. If your favorite team, it's the New England Patriots, for example, here in New England. If they had a home game here in New England and it wasn't sold out, you couldn't watch that game on TV. If they sold out the game before a certain time period, before the game aired, then they would have the game on TV. But if they did not sell out that particular game, that home game, you wouldn't see the Pats on local TV. That's how they controlled you. That's how they control. I mean, you'd get some other team playing. Well, they can't do it anymore. There's just too much available. I mean, try blocking somebody watching a game online or something like that, or East Coast, West Coast, Central Coast. I mean, that was the other big thing when satellites came on. I remember back in the 80s and 90s when you remember the big dish, those huge dishes, those 10-foot dishes, 8 and 10-foot dishes. Yeah, people were able to get satellite feeds and East Coast and West Coast and all that kind of stuff, even for things like HBO as well as games. So satellites started to come on and come on strong, and people. Well, that's why they started the NFL Sunday Ticket, DirecTV, because they knew that the people were going to be able to catch the games anyway. You might as well try to market it up front and get people to buy it from you instead of losing all that revenue. So that's really how we got the NFL Sunday Ticket. But they were still trying to control it, what you saw and when you saw it to a certain degree. But the reality is technology. Everybody in the industry saw that technology was going to make that a moot point, and that eventually the fan was going to pick up on it, and they did. Fans aren't stupid. It may take them a year or two to pick up on it, but they did. And now this is the same thing with this protest. It may take the fans dropping the NFL is picking up steam. I mean, viewership of the NFL at the first games, the first week was down 14%. That's a huge drop. And they keep losing fans every week until it's going to be a point where, they're going to finally say, well, look, we got to stop the bleeding here. Well, NASCAR is not even going to go that direction. Here, Loudon, New Hampshire, Dateline Loudon, which is just about it's about 7 or 8. The racetrack is about 10 miles north of here from where I live. I have to go east first, so I guess northeast. It's about 10 miles north of here, north of the Concord, Pembroke area. So NASCAR, so it's right in my backyard. which is why I heard the jets fly over yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was jets. I didn't see them, but here in the greater Concord area, we don't have military jets flying all the time. We don't have jets flying at all, really. We got some little small airport. It's a prop job thing, but we don't usually get. We have the Manchester airport, but they're flying. They're landing. Their pattern doesn't usually take jets over Concord, because Manchester it's about 20 miles south of here, and the airport's probably another. Well, I wouldn't say it's 10 miles, but the airport is probably a good 30 miles from here. So we're not in their flight path, so we don't get jets flying over. So when you hear them, you take notice. And yesterday there were some jets in the air. Now again, I couldn't see them. I looked up, didn't see them, so I was not positive that they're military jets. But I do know the sound of military jets. Being a military brat, I'm telling you, they were military jets, even though I could not see them. So I don't know which kind they didn't sound. Well, let me get specific. They definitely were not flying supersonic. Now I couldn't tell if they were the traditional F-16s or something else, but that's usually what they are. They're usually F-16s that do the flyover. But these, for some reason, they didn't really sound like they were F-16s. What is this? Oh, hey, I was right. I just got a text here, people telling me during the show that what they were, because they saw it, they were A-10s. Yeah, A-10s are not supersonic. See, I still got it, man. Still got it. Confirmation. They were military jets, and they were A-10s, subsonic. And we talked about A-10s last week. Beautiful. It's one of the called the Warthog. That's his nickname. Tank destroyer, ugly machine, flying machine, but it is so beautiful. Any case, NASCAR again proved to be an insular oddity in American sports culture yesterday, as Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series pre-race festivities at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire, were completely devoid of the type of national anthem protests that have permeated other professional sports, including baseball now. Evidently, I got the story here. There's somebody in baseball that took a knee. National Baseball League better nip this in the bud before he. Can you imagine? Hey, look, I know Red Sox Nation. I'm not sure that. Baseball fans are pretty patriotic too. Yeah, all sport. Well, not all sports fans. Most major league sports. I'm going to say that probably. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm not a huge fan of this type of sport. But somehow I don't think that soccer is going to be full of America-loving fans. You might say, well, there's a hockey, Rod. Well, hockey, you're going to find the patriotic people on both sides of the border, which would be Canada and the U.S. of A. They're going to be Canadian loyalists and they're going to be American loyalists. But demonstrations have increased in response to President Trump's asserting that the NFL owners should get that son of a bitch. I don't even know why they say that. Have increased. They've been increasing. Every week we get somebody new taking a knee in the NFL. It has nothing to do with Trump. They're trying to make this about Trump. This is USA Today, by the way. This is not about Trump. He did the right thing he probably shouldn't have said get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He just said the NFL should be firing these people. I've said it. The NFL should be firing these people. Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shahid Khan linked arms with players in a silent protest before the NFL game in London. If any NASCAR competitor shared the political opinion of athletes expressing themselves elsewhere, they fell completely in line anyway. In our state, in a state whose motto is live free or die, crewmen, including numerous African Americans, stood in rows, as usual, for the national anthem, adhering to the prevailing opinion of the sports team's owners. That's right, like any other business. You can't go around trashing your employer and expect to have a job come Monday morning. I mean, sure, you can gripe with your fellow. You can gripe to your fellow employees, your coworkers about how bad the company is. Maybe you can gripe, but you do not take it outside of that office or plant, and you don't take it to the news. You don't stand up there and protest, unless you're going on strike for a union or something. But you don't stand out there and protest them and expect to walk back into work. You're going to get your ass fired. Now, here's something that team owner Richard Childress responded when asked about this. Get you a ride on a Greyhound bus when the national anthem is over. I told them anyone who works for me should respect the country we live in. So many people gave their lives for it. This is America. Richard Petty, who won a record-tying 7 championships as a driver, said he would fire any employee that didn't stand for the anthem. Anybody that don't stand up for that ought to be out of the country, period. If they don't appreciate where they're at, what got them where they're at, the United States, they're gone, he says. Now, some people are taking a softer stance. The co-owner of Richard Petty Motorsports said, I would sit down with the person and say it's the wrong thing to do to take a knee, and many people, including myself, view it as an affront to our country. But if there is a disenchantment towards the president or a few bad law enforcement officers, don't have it cross over to all that's still good and right about our country. He said, I wouldn't necessarily fire them, but basically he's saying he also said, well, I wouldn't prevent anybody else from firing. In other words, his partner, Richard Petty, said he'd fire him. This guy, Andy Murston, said that he wouldn't stand in the way of Petty firing somebody. So basically he's saying, hey, I'll talk to you first about it if you have an issue with standing for the anthem and the pledge and all that kind of stuff. But if my partner here, Rich, sees you, you're gone, and I'm not going to stop him. This is how because you are employed by these companies. They're companies, people. And you're messing with these companies. You're messing with their livelihoods. And it's the same thing in the NFL. I mean, you get Jaguars Jacksonville Jaguars who are taking a knee. You're messing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. As far as I know, not a single one of those players wearing that uniform down there owns any part of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You don't have a right to take a knee. Unless, of course, the owner lets you, which is the big problem with the NFL right now. They need to squash this crap.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
603-835-3226. Yes, NASCAR is an all-American sport. Now, anybody remember the Kenny Rogers movie? I think it's from the late 70s, early 80s. There was a brief TV series about. I think it was this TV series only on for a year. Six Pack. Yeah, he was a driver, NASCAR driver, I do believe. This is before NASCAR was really, really big. NASCAR was just getting started, pretty much. NASCAR has been around for decades, but it was starting to really surpass Indy Formula One racing at this particular point in time. Because Formula One used to be every, Sunday mornings, or Sunday afternoons, they had races. It was always IndyCar races. Now Formula One racing is like, the back seat. Nowhere near as popular as NASCAR. But at one point, Indy Formula One was the bomb as far as racing. When you made the Formula One teams, that was it, man. You were the pinnacle of racing. And NASCAR was still kind of, back in the 70s and early 80s, was still seen as, that little racing company thing that was going on there. But the movie Six Pack with Kenny Rogers did help to give NASCAR a little boost. I remember, but at that particular, I bring it up because some people don't think that car racing is a sport. Well, some of these guys are pretty athletic. They got to be. You get jostled around in those damn cars a lot, and it can be. You drive for 6 hours and just doing 55 to 70 on the highway, and you're kind of tired. Can you imagine having to do this for 3 hours straight, doing 190 to 220 miles per hour with a bunch of other people around you who are doing the same thing? And these cars don't, their suspension systems aren't the greatest in the world. As far as shock absorbers and everything, you get jostled around in these things. Not to mention all the equipment. There's no air conditioning. They're hot. So yeah, some of these guys they're in good physical shape, and the Six Pack reminded me of that. The movie Six Pack with Kenny Rogers, because they actually had him like jogging and doing sit-ups and everything else, getting ready for his championship. But they're not. NASCAR does not seem to be allowing them to take this stance. They're going to say, "Hey, you want to take a knee? Then get the hell out. Go home. Take a knee on your own time. You're not gonna diss our brand. Not with your stupidity." And that's all it is just plain stupid. It's ignorance and stupidity. Well, I'm not even gonna say it's ignorance anymore. I've explained the difference between ignorance and stupidity, and this is no longer ignorance. We've long ago crossed over from ignorance to just plain and utter and sheer stupidity.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden? What?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Call Rod now, 606-603-835-3226. The movie with Kenny Rogers was released in 1982. Boy, I'm dating myself on that one, man. That's going back a ways. But I didn't realize until just reviewing the cast who was in. I mean, I remember Diane Lane being in it. I didn't know that Aaron Gray and Barry Corbin were also in it, as well. Anthony Michael Hall. How can you forget him? He played the mechanic kid. And plus, a bunch of no names. They never really did anything afterwards. But, having Diane Lane and Aaron Gray and Anthony Michael Hall in the same movie, that was a theatrical release movie, too. I don't know how well it did. But in any case, 603-835-3226 is the call-in number, should you wish to utilize that this morning. And here it is, the Bruce Maxwell is the A's Athletics. The Athletics, Bruce Maxwell is the first Major League Baseball player to kneel for the anthem. Now, you might, who's Bruce Maxwell? He's their catcher. The Oakland Athletics catcher, Bruce Maxwell, takes a knee as the Oakland A's left fielder, Mark Canha, puts his hand on his shoulder during the playing of the national anthem so a rookie catcher, he's a rookie, who early in the day profanely bashed President Trump on Instagram, became the first Major League player to kneel during the national anthem on Saturday before the Oakland A's 1-0 win at the Coliseum. My decision has been coming for a long time, he says. He's a rookie. What do you mean a long time? Citing his own experiences with racism while growing up in Huntsville, Alabama, which is where Trump on Friday made disparaging comments about NFL players who choose to kneel for the anthem. The only way we can come together is by... What? Wait a minute. He experienced racism in Huntsville, Alabama? Now, I don't know his ethnicity, but his name is Bruce Maxwell. So I'm going to say that he's at least... maybe his mother is Latino, but I'm going to say by looking at his picture and his last name that he's white. European descent. Just say, he could be half. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. It's hard to tell. Well, it looks like he's got a little bit of color in him, so he could be, half Latino or half black, but it doesn't matter. Like Colin Kaepernick. To single out NFL players for doing this isn't something we should be doing. Well, yeah, because they were Mr. Maxwell, he's not even Mr. because he's not old enough to be a Mr. Bruce, you single out the NFL players because at the time that Trump made his statements, nobody else in any other major league sport was doing this that we knew about. It was NFL players. As many as 150. Actually, this is a confusing story. More than 200 protest national anthem in loud NFL statement. More than 200 NFL players defiantly took a knee during the national anthem at their games Sunday, while hundreds of other grid stars locked arms with their coaches and even some team owners to protest President Trump, who had ripped the league over the weekend. Well, rightfully so. Now, the big question is it's getting to the point now where you got to wonder about the players who are standing. How are they dealing with all this nonsense? Because they're getting ribbed in the locker room. Yeah, you standing for the man. What's wrong with you? We all take a knee. You take a knee. You might say, no, I don't want to take a knee. I'm not going to be that stupid. You got to wonder what about the players who aren't taking a knee? Baseball. Here's this stupid kid. He's a rookie of all people, thinking that he's going to. It's been coming for a long time now. Now, a long time since when? First of all, this taking a knee by Colin Kaepernick only started a couple of years ago. So that's not a long time. Secondly, if you're a rookie, it means that this is your first year in the major leagues, which means you're, if you're out of college, what is he? You're 22, 23, maybe 24. That's it. Long time coming. And you're going to take a knee. You're going to take a knee. You're going to protest. What are you protesting then? Are you now not protesting what Colin Kaepernick was protesting? You're just protesting because Donald Trump said something you didn't like? Is that it? Well, the president shouldn't be ripping what, commenting on. Why not? Because we got the left commenting on everything. And they protest at the drop of a hat. You want to be a conservative speaker and have a college invite you in to speak at the college? Oh, man, they're going to protest the hell out of you. How come they don't take a knee? And so you take a knee on the sports field, but you do violence and destruction off the sports field. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. Anybody else notice that? These jackasses will take a knee at the drop of a hat because, we don't like Trump and what he said. But, off the field, outside of the sports stadium, they'll go completely ape-bat, crazy. And start breaking stuff that doesn't belong to them. We have gone insane. We've gone to the side of insanity, folks. We really have. It's just unbelievable. You got 200 NFL. Some people are wondering, well, why are you going to punish the whole NFL? Because more than 200 players decided to take a knee. That's why I've decided to punish the whole NFL. Because you have some owners and the NFL franchise leader, Roger Goodell, who isn't standing up for Americans and America and saying that this is wrong and this is not the place for it. We're going to cut this shit out. But no. They're kind of letting them do it, which means they support it. So screw it. I'm done with the NFL. I put the NFL on notice a while ago remember when the NFL went on strike and they weren't actually playing? I told my friends then, I said, if they do anything like this, the NFL is on probation. They do anything like this again, they're going to lose me. And here we are. They're doing something even worse than going on strike. Because professional baseball, I've been to Red Sox games at Fenway Park, but I didn't pay for any of the tickets. I won little contests here and there, and did good work, and the two companies that I worked for paid for tickets for me to go to the Red Sox games. PC Connection, they were really awesome when I worked for them, man. It was like 4 or 5, 6 times maybe. Red Sox games I saw in a corporate box. That's the only way to see a professional game. I'm sorry, I got spoiled. Every single time, there was a contest, to get some Red Sox. I didn't even try to win the Sox tickets. I was, I wanted the money. I was a salesperson. I wanted to win. I wanted the bonuses and everything else and the commissions that came along with it. So I'd win, and I'd be one of the winners, and I'd get to go to the box and see the game. It's the only way to see a game. Man, especially when you had because usually it wasn't PC Connection itself that sponsored it. It was the vendors that would sponsor it. And I remember, I'm not going to mention the name of the vendor. This one vendor, man, he ordered a case of Captain Jack Morgan into the box. Yeah, we all enjoyed Jack and Coke for 9 innings. And if anybody's been at a baseball game for 9 innings, you know how long 9 innings can last. 3 to 4 hour game, and we had Jack and Coke was because they had 2 bottles of Jack with a bunch of other liquor there too. They had it, and the butler, as it were, because the Skybox is all the corporate. They have their own butlers. Basically, well, they take care of a couple of Skyboxes at once, but they have a butler. So there was a bottle of Jack and Coke and a bottle of something else that was sitting on the counter. And so again, not going to mention the sponsor's name. I remember who it was. I remember the guy's name too. But let's just call him Jack. The butler came in because he was bringing in more food because we were loaded up with food too. Jack gets the butler, and we all heard him. He says, "Hey," because this guy. Slightly southern here, Jack. He says, "Hey, man, this ain't even gonna last an inning. Bring in a case. Put it on the corporate tab," meaning his company. And a half an inning later, there was a case of Jack Morgan brought into the Skybox. It was unbelievable. So yeah, that's the only way to see a professional game. Now I've never seen a football game that way, and I have been to. I was at Gillette Stadium. What are they playing now? Is it still Gillette Stadium? Before they built the new stadium, I was at. I've been to 2 Patriots home games in the old stadium, Foxborough Stadium, not Gillette Stadium, Foxborough Stadium. It was called Foxborough, and I bought tickets, just regular tickets. Sat in the stands, so I have never been able to see a football game that way. So if anybody's got forget football. It's hard. Well, if you want to, I'll go to a corporate box to party at a football game. And and it's pretty bad too. I would love to. I've never seen the Pittsburgh Steelers play a home game. I would love to see the Pittsburgh Steelers play a home game, but I can't do it now because these guys are being such jackasses. They forget where they come from. Especially considering that many of the professional NFL players now, many of them are African American. They're black. How about you go back to the ghetto from whence you came, and talk about opportunity there, and talk about unfairness there, and talk about protesting there. How about you protest the Democrats who put you in such squalor? I don't see them. Other than maybe once in a while, Black Lives Matter, doing some major damage in like Baltimore and Ferguson. I don't see Black Lives Matter really protesting in places like Chicago or Detroit. Hey, Chicago, the murder capital of the entire planet. I don't see Antifa or Black Lives Matter protesting in Chicago. Hey, come on. You going to take a knee? Give me and say, well, it's because of President Trump. Bullshit, it's because of President Trump. You started taking knees under Barack Hussein Obama. And now, I love it when they say, well, look what they're doing to Kaepernick. Kaepernick is getting his just desserts. He wants to do this kind of crap, and he's a mediocre player anyway. It's not like he's Tom Brady caliber. He was a mediocre QB at best. It's just unbelievable. It's just plain garbage, folks. It really is garbage. And frankly, I don't know where you think you're going to get or how you're going to get your message across or heard if you disparage the very people who could probably take your side and help you with your cause. So you're going to disrespect the majority of your fans and the majority of the American people and then expect them to sympathize with you for the reasons that you are taking a knee. They're going to call you on your BS and tell you that you're just a spoiled little brat, overpaid, wimpy asshole that needs to go sit down. I agree.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Moving on from the NFL, never to be spoken. Well, I won't say never. If they get their act together, then maybe I'll come back around and mention the NFL here. But this is probably unless it's something really significant and important, it's the last time I'm going to mention anything about the NFL here on this program. So if you want to hear the NFL, go listen to Rush, because I won't be talking about the NFL nor the Steelers, unfortunately, anymore. This just in, Anthony Weiner. I don't. How do you commit a crime that Anthony Weiner committed with the name like Weiner? Let's just face it. You don't mess around with stuff like that when your last name is that funny. Really, seriously. But anyway, Anthony Weiner, the sentence just came down. This just in from one of my friends in the chat room. Thank you, Chris, for giving us the update. Anthony Weiner gets 21 months in prison. It was speculated that he'd get about 2 years. Well, 21 months is 3 months shy of 2 years, because 2 years would be 24 months. But Weiner also faces spending the rest of his life as a registered sex offender for his lengthy and lurid social media contacts with the North Carolina teen, in which he got in trouble for. Well, he's 53. Ooh, how much longer is 30 years? I know it's a long time, but try being a teenager who's 17, who gets arrested for having a picture of himself nude and is charged with child pornography, and having to register as a sex offender for sending your own nude photo to another teen, possibly your girlfriend. Just saying. This is happening right now, folks. I brought you stories. I've been bringing you stories, since day one on this program about the inequalities of sex scandals and laws pertaining to children and trying to protect them. Now we're protecting them from themselves. How is it damaging? Well, I'm not even going to get into it right now. But again, you take a nude picture of yourself. You're underage. Under the age of 18, so you take a nude picture of yourself. Now you're in possession of child pornography, even though it's of yourself. Do you realize that your parents can now get in trouble for having a picture of you naked when you're a baby? And that's really. Seriously, I mean, it's just. This is not what the sex laws and anti-child pornography laws were intended for, and the problem is that prosecutors all over the country know what the intent is, and they misuse it for their own political gain. And here we have Anthony Weiner, who clearly breaks the law, and they treat him with kid gloves, give him a slap on the 21 months, and his defense attorney uses the excuse, well, the teenage girl, she just baited him and lured him in so she could sell a book. Yeah, I'm sure this 15-year-old thought, when all this first started, hey, if I can lure, Congressman Weiner into sexting me, someday I can sell the book. I am sure that's what that teen was thinking. Yeah, right. So later on, she did sell her story to a British tabloid for $30,000. That really got her rich, didn't it? That's, and by today's standards, that might pay for 1 year's tuition at some college somewhere, considering what college costs. So she's not really that far ahead, is she? She's not. I'm sure. I'm sure. I can just see it now. She's sitting at her desk. How am I going to pay for college? I'll be going to school in about 3 years. I know. I am going to lure some congressmen into sexting with me. And here's a guy. Yeah, doesn't even pick a handsome guy. I'm sorry, Anthony. No, she goes after probably one of the most funny-looking guys out there in Congress with the funny name. Maybe it was the name. Gets the funny name. And says, I'm going to go after Congressman Weiner. And gets Congressman Weiner to send her all kinds of lewd text messages and pictures, suggestive pictures. And then she's going to go right away and say, look, this congressman, look what he's doing. Prosecute him and so I can sue him and then sell my story. So I can have, I'm sure she was really thinking of that. Well, I know that there are other people who are saying, well, how was she able to get on these adult? You know what? I don't know how the whole affair started. Was it due to Facebook? In any case, it doesn't really matter because Weiner is actually the adult. Now, here's a man in his late 40s, early 50s when all this started. He should have well known better. Then he didn't. And they're using the excuse, well, he had a sex addiction. Sex addiction, my ass. He was sick, man. He was sick, Rod. You don't understand. He was sick. He needed help, and he didn't get the help until after he got caught. He wasn't sick. It's just another excuse. It's like Charlie Sheen running around talking about he's got a sex addiction. Please, really? Is this going to be the standard answer from now on? Sex addiction is the reason why you do illicit sexual crap? Wrong.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio is right here on this program. 603-835-3226 is the Hot Rod action line that you can utilize to call for the next hour, should you wish to do so. Welcome back to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites. Here it is, Monday, September number 25 in the year of our Lord 2017. It is the last week of September. It's supposed to be very nice and rather warm all week in the 80s for much of the week. Upper 70s, lower 80s much of the week. And then the extended forecast shows us dipping into the lower 70s and 60s next week, October, which means fall, autumn. It's the way it usually works around here. One last thing on the NFL football thing. Mark Cuban. Now, you know, I've flip-flopped on Mark Cuban a couple of times. I've always thought, you know, back before I got to know him a little bit better with Shark Tank, I always thought that Mark Cuban, I would never trust to do business with him. I always thought Mark Cuban was a, you know, D-double-I-C-K type of a person. Well, I mean, that's the impression that he always gave off. A lot of people that worked with him would say the same thing. He never came across as being, well, I mean, look, He's a self-made billionaire. So he's not going to be all lovey-dovey, right? So anyway, then there was, the Shark Tank, and he started to appear to be more human to me. So I started softening and started liking him. And then the whole Trump thing came, and I was like, you know what? I was right all along. He is a DIICK type of a personality. I don't like him. And now he's back there. Now he's back slamming Donald Trump over NFL protests. And now I wonder if he would, don't get me wrong. Mark Cuban owns the Dallas Mavericks, which is a basketball team. Now, would he allow any of his players? I mean, because what are there? 12 players on a team, on a professional team? I think there's 12. Would he allow any of the 12 players plus the head coach and there's usually 2 assistant coaches? So would he allow the bench, which is I think there's 15 people that sit on that front bench or down on the courtside bench? Would he allow any of those people on that bench to not stand for the national anthem? Would they sit or kneel? Would he allow them? I mean, here's a guy that's made billions of dollars for himself and other people because of the United States. He wouldn't have been able to do it anyplace else. So would he? I don't know. No, I don't think he would. He'd be a self-made billionaire in any other country but the United States of America. And he knows this. Any case, so that is the last I'm going to talk about the NFL, unless there's something major new that comes along. I'm just done with them. I don't talk about baseball. So, because I was done with baseball a long time ago after their last strike that they had. It was just ridiculous. Again, a bunch of overpaid, wimpy people, men. Yeah, I'm not getting paid enough. Now, I've always taken the stance. I don't care what your profession is, not just sports, but I don't care what your profession is. If you ask for a certain amount of money as a salary, and somebody's willing to pay you that amount, then fine. It's between you and the person who's willing to pay you. Get as much as you possibly can. I have no problem with that. But when you start whining and complaining that you're not making enough, and the ticket that I have to pay goes from $15 for a regular $15 ticket, matinee ticket, 50 goes up to $60, well, now I've got a problem. And look, I understand they got to, the owners have got to find a way to pay for these people's salaries, but don't go on strike and demand that I pay higher ticket prices just so you can make $15 million a year instead of $12 million. That's ridiculous. And that's what it's always about. And don't give me this, well, it's about the lower rung, man. No, it's not about all the multi-million-dollar players. It's about all the rank-and-file players only making, $500,000 a year as minimum salary. Well, that's a bunch of BS, too, because most people in the country don't make $500,000 a year, especially playing a game. That's for damn sure. So don't give me that BS is for them. It's not. But in any case, that's professional sports, and you know what? This is the type of thing that is spreading all over the planet. It's not just here in the United States where players are getting too big for their britches, and think that they're in one instance they're correct in saying that the fans come to see me. Individual play. Well, that is partly true. They do. They come for the sport that they love to begin with, and then for their favorite players. But let's face it, when that favorite player leaves or retires from that team, they don't stop watching that team. They find a new favorite player. Did you think that people, stopped watching the Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan retired? No, they still watch the Bulls. So it's not always about the player. And these guys, they often overestimate their worth and their value in the first place. And when it comes down, some of them get a shocking eye opener. Like Colin Kaepernick, not being signed anywhere to anybody. He had a inflated sense of his own self-worth, and nobody else was buying it. Too damn bad. Hillary Clinton. This is from Fortune.com. She says women who support Trump are publicly disrespecting themselves. Really? I think women who support you are publicly disrespecting themselves. I mean, here's a woman that forgave her husband for cheating on her numerous times. Here's a woman who allowed her husband to call a lot of these women, you know, sluts and hookers and whores and, you know, bangers, and I don't mean in a British food term either. But hey, if you support Trump, then you're publicly disrespecting yourself. She spoke about her thoughts on what she viewed as sexist comments by President Donald Trump and women who continue to support him. I'm so sick. This is another one of those things I'm getting sick and tired of. Donald Trump is being lambasted for, how long ago was this conversation with Billy Bush? In a private trailer or private coach bus, and somebody it was illegally recorded, and they kept it. It's called locker room talk or trash talk. Men and women both engage in trash talk. Doesn't matter. So big deal. So he said it about, he talked, look, I've been in locker rooms where guys have talked worse than that. I've worked with a bunch of women on third shift where they've talked worse than that. How would you like to be one of only 3 guys at third shift at 3 o'clock in the morning, surrounded by like 30 to 40 women? That's who you work with every night. You need just 3 guys. Unless 2 of us were, according to the women, were really good looking. Third guy was married, so he didn't count. Well, these women are, it's terrible. Listening to, how do you, the other poor guy, Andrew, he got so embarrassed that he changed departments. Honestly. He got into a different department and started doing inspections instead of, where he still had to come by and listen to these cackling women every once in a while, but he didn't have to sit there like I did. But I'll admit, Andrew was a good-looking guy, and he was fairly young. But they would embarrass the hell out of him because he was good. So the trash talk is not, locker room talk is not just guys. I'm telling you. So this whole notion that this whole thing about Donald Trump talking to Billy Bush about, women's private parts is redonkulous. It's ridiculous. It goes on daily, all over the country, all over the world. And it doesn't matter who you are or what your economic state or condition is. The only people who aren't talking in such a way are really, truly those who are really holy. You probably have to be on the level of a cardinal or a pope not to speak in terms of the way most of us talk in private, especially when we think we're in private. And I don't know how many times where I think a conversation is private and it turns out not to be. I'm sure that someday if I go do something important and big, and somebody's going to come out with some secretly recorded conversation that I had about something. Say, look what Rod said. Well, happens all the time. So I'm sick and tired of them using this mantra, especially Hillary Clinton has got to be the biggest hypocrite on the planet when it comes to this kind of stuff, considering who she's married to. And considering what she's done to women who's accused Bill of rape. They called it being able to control the bimbo eruption. She called all these women bimbos. Now, I see women doing that, supporting Trump, and I think that they are publicly disrespecting themselves. Why are they opening the door to have someone say that about them in their workplace? He's not saying anything about these women in their workplace. By the way, didn't Monica Lewinsky do something to Hillary's husband in their workplace? Didn't some of these women who accused Bill Clinton of sexual misconduct and misdeeds and having affairs going back to Arkansas, didn't he use there are state troopers that came forward and said, yeah, Bill had me go out and find this woman or get this woman and bring her back to the governor's mansion. Okay, so for decades now, I mean, hell, even at the inauguration of President Trump, you had Bill Clinton oogling and did you see? And Hillary caught him, and he didn't give a damn. He knew he'd been caught. He saw Hillary looking at it. He's like, yeah, screw you, you old hag. We're in our 70s now. Who cares? I can look. And he was looking at Melania and just licking his lips, biting his. I mean, come on. And this woman, and she catches him. She looks back and stares at him, gives him daggers for doing, and he doesn't care. And she's going to say that Donald Trump, women who support Donald Trump are publicly disrespecting themselves. Well, Hillary, I think you've already publicly disrespected yourself by staying with your husband.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Hillary's out there constantly talking about how women should be supporting her and not Donald Trump. What does that mean, by the way? Support Hillary Clinton because Hillary's is this the reason why you vote for somebody? It's not. Okay, so you should vote for Hillary because she's a woman if you're a woman. But how bad is it if a man votes for a man because he's a man? Because both are men. I mean, then they're just called, male privilege, right? Isn't that it? I know it's white male privilege now, but I mean, so if you're a guy who supports another guy simply because you're both guys, you're called a chauvinist, a misogynist, all that kind of stuff. You're a woman hater. And you might actually really love women and actually really, treat them with respect. Well, how can you treat them with respect if you have so many women, Rod? Well, it's the same with women. How can they treat men with respect? Look, as I have mentioned numerous times, I have worked in on gay nights at nightclubs in the greater Boston area. And let me tell you something. Some of the most raunchy people on the planet are lesbians. I mean, really. I mean, listen to some of them talk. It puts male locker room talk to shame. It really does. I'm just saying. So to hammer Donald Trump over one illegally recorded, he obviously didn't know it was being recorded, so that's why I'm saying it's illegal. Because Billy Bush did. Neither one of them knew they were being recorded. And the worst part is Billy Bush, years later, after having a private conversation, gets fired for it. I would have sued that. What is he, ABC? I would have sued the hell out of ABC over that. That's ridiculous. But he's like, well, maybe we shouldn't have had that conversation. I apologize. I wouldn't have apologized. You kidding me? Well, Billy Bush turned out to be another, jackalope wimp. Just saying. I just can't. Well, maybe I'm just different. So, Clinton, she's out there, on her little. It's amazing how the left can get away with this stuff. The left can get away with all kinds of stuff, but accuse the right of all kinds of things. You're disrespectful if you're a woman. You disrespect yourself if you're a woman and support Trump. But hey, you're a self-respecting whole kind of person or human being or woman if you support Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, doesn't have to support women or even herself because, look what she did with her husband. She took a back seat to her husband, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. You can do that, if you're a liberal. You can also, religion. You can disrespect people in religion. You can verbally blast Joel Osteen for wrongfully closing his church during Hurricane Harvey, which is what he was supposed to do. Because they had to some people that were at the Lakewood Church, I guess, had to evacuate because part of the church was flooding out. So what was he supposed to do? Let people that would be like flooding the Silver Dome down there in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, the dome is flooding, so let's keep people inside here. That's how dumb that would have been. But as they realized that the flooding was under control, it was not going to destroy the church, he opened the church and let people use it as a sanctuary. But before, there was water coming in. But hey, it's okay because you can disparage Joel Osteen all you want because he's on the right. To get very little, very few people on the left open their homes or their businesses or their buildings, but that's okay because, they're leftists. People on the right donated all kinds of money and time and experience, but people on the left hardly cracked open their wallet. But that's okay because they're leftists. You know, they intend to care. They intend to be right. I mean, this double standard has really got to go. This is another one. Today is what is today's Monday? Today is Rod is getting sick of the double standard hypocritical crap Monday. Just saying. I mean, these people are just. Yeah, be mad at women for supporting Donald Trump simply because Donald Trump talked about in locker room conversation in private that was illegally recorded about doing things that most men would like to do to women. But, hey, still support the guy who actually did do those things to women.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, but most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard.
It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Joe Biden, former Vice President Joe Biden, is out there on the speaking circuit. Now, he's not getting paid as much as Barack Obama, who last week was out there, entered the speaking circuit in Wall Street by giving a speech for $400,000. I only need to do one of those a year, honestly. Can somebody pay me $400,000 just to do one speech? I'll do it in front of a massive crowd anywhere, New York City University. I don't care. I won't make fun of people making that kind of money, giving a speech. I'll make sure mine is not boring either. I'll make it 40 minutes or less and make sure that it's not boring. Yeah, 40 minutes. So that's $100,000 for, $10,000 a minute? $400,000. I'll do it. Just one. And you know what? If you do that, I won't even do, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Somebody will give it to me probably. But I won't even have the show anymore. I won't even do the show. Just one speech a year for $400,000 for the next 10 years. Yeah, I'll make $4 million over 10 years. That's good enough. I'm in it for myself, right? Isn't that what that's what the leftists always say about us on the right. You're only in it for ourselves. So sure, get $400,000, one speech a year for $400,000 every year for the next 10 years. That'll give me, $4 million. I'll be good to go. It's fine. Won't even, So why? Now, some people are saying, well, that's just stupid, Rod. Nobody's going to pay you $400,000. Well, why? Because they're paying, they're paying Bill and Hillary Clinton that kind of money. They're paying Barack Obama that kind of money. What are they going to say? And they're probably, you got people, falling asleep on Hillary Clinton. I guarantee you won't fall asleep at any speech I give. But I guess I wasn't an elected official capitalizing now in the private sector off my election, right? So, I don't think Joe Biden is getting $400,000 per speech. He might. Maybe he should get a bunch because he sounds like he's out there, campaigning for the presidency. Biden rips into Trump over race in South Carolina return. Evidently, the former vice president stoked speculation about another presidential run with a speech urging Americans to stand up to hate groups in a key early primary state. Now, this is also another hypocritical killer to me. You're talking about standing up to what is Black Lives Matter? Is that a love fest group? What about Antifa? Is that a love fest group? What about Democrats in general? Now, not Jane, not every day your next door neighbor, Jane and Joe liberal, but I guess you can call them the rank and file. But how about all the liberal groups out there and liberals? The Poverty Law Center. What are they have a map that they've labeled hate groups. They're hating on people that really aren't hateful. So Biden is out there saying, well, you know what? Americans should stand up to hate groups if we actually did that. If Americans actually stood up to these hate groups like Joe Biden is saying, we'd be standing up to the Democrat Party. Well, maybe we already are. Democrats keep losing election after election. I mean, it is rare that a Democrat wins a major election. I mean, it's major simply because they make it major. I mean, it could be just for county dog catcher, but if they make a big deal out of it, then that becomes a major election. And it's so rare when they do win. They keep losing. Oh, would you like to see Joe Biden run for president against Donald Trump? I think Donald Trump would just wipe the floor with him. I understand that. Look, I know that Joe Biden is he's not a great debater. He's a decent debater. But he's like many on the left. He doesn't stay glued to the subject and to the facts anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hardly any of them do. I mean, Republicans haven't learned how to get around that yet. They haven't learned how to not just stick to facts and to play on emotion like liberals do. Speaking at the Centennial Fundraising Dinner for the Charleston branch of the NAACP, Biden said this is a moment for the nation to declare that this president can't, with any clarity, consistency, or vision, there is no place in America for hate groups. So all the groups that take a knee during the national anthem and diss every American that there is a love fest group. Black Lives Matter, speaking in front of the NAACP, is a love fest group. So this very organization, NAACP, has given Trump NAACP-sponsored awards at least twice in Trump's career. But Trump is a hate-mongering, bigoted, racist, womanizing jerk? Really? No wonder you got people like Antifa trying to force everybody to take down Confederate statues because they need to rewrite history. They need to rewrite history. I mean, don't you get it? Because all this history in the United States, including modern history, when it comes to all this hate mongering, is coming from the left. And the left has given, maybe what they should be doing is pointing out that they gave Donald Trump all these wonderful awards and show him for the hate monger that he really is, like the rest of the left. Oh no, but instead, they gave it to him out of love and concern and consideration. Because why? Because Donald Trump was out there helping the black community. But they can't admit that now that he's a Republican president. In order to erase that memory, they've got to erase history so they can rewrite it. These are the freaking hate mongers, people. Joe Biden and bunch. And yet they're the ones out there running around. Well, it's just as hypocritical as Hillary Clinton talking about all these women who are supporting Donald Trump. They're self-hating. Well, what the hell do you call her? How many times do we get these stupid liberals running around, flapping their gums, talking about how bad Republicans are and conservatives are, when they're the ones that actually did all the hating in the first place? Honestly, is Black Lives Matter a love fest group? No, it's not kumbaya. Let's sit down and smoke a doobie and all get along. Where the hell is everybody playing the Rodney King thing? Can't we all just get along? They're not interested in getting along. Hell, you've got Antifa members out there believing that if you say something that they do not agree with, if you say something that they don't like, oh, that's a reason for spreading violence. That's a reason for breaking shit. That's a reason for rioting. They've done the numbers. These kids agree with this stuff. They think it's quite all right to eliminate the First Amendment. If you say something that they don't agree with, then you don't have a right to speak, according to them. That's supposed to be full of love? That's a love fest, Mr. Biden? You take a knee to discredit and to diss the entire nation and every single American in it, and you get called out for doing it. Oh, and that's hate speech? I mean, the hypocrisy is just so... And they don't even realize how bad of hypocrites that they really are. But they're not getting away with it anymore. They're not... I mean, they can't even agree amongst themselves. You got Nancy Pelosi trying to give a speech about dreamers, and you got a bunch of freaking little dreamers coming in and interrupting your speech and calling her a liar. And she got pissed. At first, she was happy. Yo, here's the little dreamers. Hey, wait, what? They're protesting me? Hey, you don't understand. I'm on your side. No, you're not on our side. We're dreamers. I mean, can you believe they're tearing themselves apart? And Joe Biden is running around out there trying to point the fingers at the right side of the political aisle. How idiotic is this stuff? I mean, do I even need to point this out, folks? I mean, come on. I mean, this audience is smart enough to figure this stuff out. You guys know. This is beyond ignorance. This is just plain stupidity on display. You got Barack Obama out there giving a speech yesterday or last week talking about how we need to keep Obamacare because it's working, it's beautiful, everybody loves it. Hardly anybody loves it. It's not working. It's damn expensive. You got Hillary Clinton out there over the weekend talking about, how women who support and vote for Donald Trump are self-hating women and they're publicly embarrassing themselves while she's a supporter of a misogynist potential rapist. They're talking about, and not to mention, she employs the wife of a man who's now going to jail for being a sexist. And then you get Joe Biden, who says that, we got to stand up to all this hate mongering and Donald Trump is a hate monger, when they used to run around and be all lovey-dovey with Donald Trump. And not to mention, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, there isn't a person on the planet who's going to think that Black Lives Matter and Antifa or Occupy Wall Street was a love fest or love fest types of groups. They're not sitting down singing Kumbaya, smoking a doobie. Hell no. Can you get more hypocritical than the left right now? Can you possibly be more hypocritical than the left? If there's a way to do it, I'm sure they will find a way. The leftists. But at this particular moment, the biggest, most gigantic hypocrites on the planet are those who occupy the left. And those people on the left are finding a smaller and smaller number of supporters. I mean, hell, Europe's socialists are hanging on by a thread. If it wasn't for the major enclave cities, most of Europe's leftist elite would be thrown out of office by now. This is why they're bringing in all these other people. These so-called the terrorists actually, but refugees, because they're allowing them to have a say in their communities, in their adopted countries by voting. It's the same thing that they want to do here. We're looking at certain cities like Baltimore, maybe not Baltimore, but certain cities in Maryland and in California that are going to allow illegals, not even legals, but illegal immigrants the right to vote in city elections, which means that they're going to be able to vote in a national election. And that's the whole point, folks. That is the whole purpose. They don't care about the local stuff. What they care about is the national stuff. And if you can get them to come in and vote legal, how are you going to screen them? Because you go on an election day on Tuesday, and you can't vote. Are they going to have separate ballots, special ballots? No, they're not going to. So they're just going to say, okay, you're legal to vote, and only they're legal only. Well, they're still not legal, but only legal to vote in the city elections. But they're going to be given a ballot to vote in the national election. That's what this is about, folks. The left realizes that they cannot win by playing it straight, by playing it honest, so they will do anything and everything they possibly can to cheat so they can force their agenda down your throat. And yet Joe Biden wants to say that the left is full of lovey-dovey, compassion. Oh, yeah. Tell that to the people whose property was destroyed or who's been mangled or killed by the BLM.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Screening. We got some new screening going on out there, according to Donald Trump, and according to some on the, now the left is taking notice. See, in Europe, here's the interesting thing. In Europe, the homosexual population in Europe, in Western European countries, are being forced to move right. Why? Because their leftist buddies are letting in all these Islamic Muslims that don't like gays. And gay bashing in Europe is on the rise. But of course, that's not being widely reported, but it is. It's on the rise, and it's alarming European gays. I mean, here they thought they won the right to marry and to adopt and to do all, and basically be equal to straight people. They won all this stuff over the past decade, and now they're being thrown back into the dark ages because now they're being targeted by these people that they're letting in. And they're saying, well, we need to put restrictions on this because we're at risk. And the gays are being thrown under the bus by the leftists. Who's the bigger minority here? You gay people or you refugees? Well, they're going to go with the refugees. They've already thought that they've got the gays. It's kind of like blacks here. Democrats always thought that we got blacks in our voting camp, and now they're losing a grip on it. Well, Western Europe is losing its voting grip on gays, and gays are moving right because they want restrictions on these people. Well, here's the story. Artificial intelligence keeps getting creepier and creepier. One is the controversial study researchers at the Stanford University have demonstrated that facial recognition technology can identify gay people with surprising precision. Although many caveats apply, imagine how that could be used in many countries where homosexuality is a criminal offense. Did I not mention this or say this when I first brought you this story a couple of weeks ago about this stupid artificial intelligence gaydar type of picture-taking crap? So what happens if... You know who's going to be the first ones who are going to want this stuff? You got it. Some anti-gay country. Now, the lead author of the gaydar study, Michael Kaczynski, argues that he's merely showing people what's possible so they can take appropriate action to prevent abuse. To prevent it. Well, then you don't promote it and build the AI so somebody else can use it. I mean, this is just stupid. Hey, I'm going to teach people how to be high-tech burglars. So I can convince people to take appropriate action to prevent it. Nobody would ever buy that nonsense. It's the same thing here. The guy's been caught with his pants down, so to speak, and now he's trying to get in. Well, no, I don't mean to make disparaging remarks against gays. I don't want to put them in danger. Too late. The idea is now there. The AI, the intelligence is now there. It's established. It's only going to get better. And guess who's going to want that crap? Well, yeah, anti-homosexual. If they can tell the difference between. Supposedly, there's also AI programs that can tell the difference between a liberal and a conservative just by their picture too. Can you imagine that? We're going to start taking pictures of people or reading their faces at the bus station, airport. Will we be able to tell a terrorist from a non-terrorist? How come they're not working on that one? Oh, no. They're working on screening people to see if they're conservative or liberal or if they're gay or not, gay or straight. Why wouldn't you just choose something that would be more beneficial that we could actually use, like terrorist or not? Honestly. And finally today, Trump is proclaiming that he is president of the United States once again by challenging the left by slapping travel restrictions on North Korea, Venezuela, and Chad. Yes, Chad is on the continent of Africa, as they say here in New England. Along with Iran, Libya, Syria, Yemen, and Somalia, now there are travel restrictions from North Korea, Venezuela, and Chad. Now, I wonder if the left are going to have a fit about that one. Hey, you can't block them coming from North Korea or Venezuela. Yeah, let's just, those regimes, they want to blow up everybody in the USA anyway. And Venezuela the current regime doesn't have a damn nice thing to say about us here. But hey, I wonder if they're going to challenge the new travel restrictions now. I wonder if they're going to take Trump to court on these things. You can't make this stuff up, really. Any case, that sound means that we're out of time for today, but hey, this is only Monday. We're just getting started. We're on a roll for the entire week, folks. We'll be back here in 21 hours for the Tuesday edition of the Rod Eccles Show. I'm so glad that you people are listening and tuning in, and the audience continues to grow. Don't forget to check out rodeccles.net as that continues to be built and put online. It's becoming a great great resource. Plus, tell your friends about the program. Get them to listen live. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Monday afternoon. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Left dogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.